A young player can quickly go from being this year's model to yesterday's news in the NHL. For much of training camp, it looked like Danton Heinen might be making that sobering transition. A year ago, Heinen was the first-year pro who was supposed to be making the big impact but wasn't able to sustain his play after making the Bruins roster out of camp. This year, all the attention was taken by rookies Charlie McAvoy, Anders Bjork and Jake DeBrusk. But in his 4 games in the NHL this year, Heinen is making sure he's not forgotten so easily. After being called up from Providence for the morning skate, Heinen scored both goals, his first 2 NHL tallies, in the Bruins' 2-1 victory over the San Jose Sharks at the Garden. Anton Khudobin, 36 saves, took second-star honors with some late clutch goaltending, especially after the Bees took 2 penalties in the final 6:24. But for the second-year pro Heinen, who left Denver University 2 years early to join the Bruins, it was a night that will stick with him for a long time. "It was pretty cool," Heinen said. "This is something you dream of your whole life and you go into shock there for a little bit, but it was awesome." What has impressed coach Bruce Cassidy is how Heinen handled playing down in the lineup. He may very well climb up the depth chart during his career, but he did his damage last night on the penalty kill and on a 4th line. He played just 8:39 as Cassidy leaned on horses Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand, 22-23 and 22-35, respectively, to close out the game. "He's kind of realizing his role, he's accepting it, and it hasn't affected his offense, obviously," Cassidy said. "He's embraced the penalty kill, he's embraced playing on a different kind of line with Tim Schaller and Sean Curley and those type of players who are more north-south than a David Krejci or David Pastrnak. That is the biggest thing I like about him. He's learning how to be a good pro." Heinen was paired with veteran David Bax on the PK, and the two struck for the first goal in the opening period. Kevin Miller made a smart pass to get the Bees out of the zone and Heinen and Bax took off on a 2-on-2. Bax's long wrister produced a fat rebound and Heinen drilled it past goalie Martin Jones. The Bees were on the short end of the penalties, putting San Jose on the advantage 6 times to their 2 power plays. They did a good job for most of the game, including killing off 40 seconds of 5-on-3 time in the second period. But the Sharks tied it on the power play midway through the second. On Curley's 3rd penalty, a gloving the puck call that landed him on the bench for the rest of the game, Khudobin could not handle Tim Heed's shot from the left circle and Joe Thornton had an easy tap-in. But Heinen scored the game winner before the period was up. Brandon Carlo's right point shot hit the end boards and Heinen made a nifty play to drag the puck out on the left side and lift it between Jones and the near post at 13:27. "Seems like he got called up, and he wanted to make his mark and not be sent back down," said Bax. From there, it was all about not allowing the lead to slip away like they did last Saturday in a 5-4 overtime loss to the Buffalo Sabres. And while the Bruins were much more poised with the puck, there were some nervous moments when the Sharks' power play got 2 chances late. First, Pastrnak was whacked for slashing and then, with 2:32 remaining, Carlo took his 2nd late penalty in as many games. But Khudobin improved greatly as the game went on, not allowing the kind of rebounds that got his team in trouble on Saturday. He also may have gotten away with one when he knocked the net off its moorings. Cassidy did not feel the least bit guilty